Raised Rowdy.
All right, it's Nicky T.
Hey, what up? I'm Kurt Ozan. Welcome to the Raised Rowdy Podcast.
Our guest this week, Mr. Dylan Marlowe. Thanks for coming
having
back,
me.
brother.
Hell yeah.
He's a veteran of the pod.
Yeah. You've been on ours, Matt's, all of them.
I know. I'm just a talker, I guess.
Hey, no, we like it. I was telling someone the other day that I think the first time we covered we covered a SoundCloud song.
Wow.
Yeah, back in the Dizzy before you were in town.
Crazy. SoundCloud.
Yeah.
Dizzy.
Just weird.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, means your career's doing good.
Yeah.
We asked you back on.
We're all, yeah. And we're off of SoundCloud now.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I'm sure we're still on it
Now
somewhere.
you're on the radio.
Yeah. Heck yeah.
Radio's like SoundCloud, but better, you know?
Yeah. It
More
pays a
people
lot
hear it.
more.
Yeah. Yeah. God bless radio for that.
I know, right?
Dude, so what you been up to, man?
Dude, nothing. We just kind of wrapped up a tour for the year, and I've just been hunting every day.
That's good, though.
Yeah. Writing and hunting.
Yeah.
It's been nice.
How many days do you get to hunt now that like things are rolling?
They're in turkey season, not a lot.
Yeah.
Because it's like right in the middle of April and May, but deer season, like right now, everything's kind of slowed down.
Yeah.
So my rights are 11, so I go hunt from 4 a.m. to
Oh, that's sick.
9.
You can come up with some ideas while you're waiting to hear
Yeah.
a buck out there.
Yeah, sometimes. Sometimes I go out in the woods and just don't even think about music.
Cleared up.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
1,000%.
Yeah.
I think you're in this like cool spot where it's like you're famous enough to where you don't have to like go to your day job, but you're not like so famous that you don't have any time at all.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's always doing something. I've been home for the last like 2 weeks and it's just felt weird. My wife's like, I don't know what to do with you being home. We're just normally married.
You're like, this is what regular people do.
Yeah,
I guess.
yeah, exactly. 1,000%.
Oh, congrats on the marriage, by the way.
Thanks.
That was
Yeah.
definitely after we had you on last time.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even know that. I was like, dang, congrats,
Yeah.
bro.
Thanks,
Yeah.
bro. Yeah, it's fun. It's cool. Like, I don't know. It's fun.
And you got a song on country radio, which
Yeah.
is going up the charts.
Yeah.
Pretty
God
sick.
willing. Yeah.
God
Hopefully.
willing. Yeah.
Yeah. It feels like it took forever, and then now it's kind of like moving pretty good. So
Yeah. That's always a strange thing.
Yeah.
And I remember we had a radio show for a while. We definitely played you on the radio
Yeah.
back in the day. Yeah.
Let's go.
And then we were talking about that. I remember like I worked at Big Loud for a little and they're like, yeah, you can't, if you're just on one station, it's fine for you to play a song and then not play it the next week. They're like,
Yeah.
but if you're have 100 stations and you play a song one week, you can't not play it the next week.
Really?
It like messes people up.
Huh.
Cause it's like, it looks like it's going down instead of going up.
Oh, yeah. Oh, 1,000%.
So
yeah,
I was
yeah.
like, luckily we weren't important enough to have 100 stations.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like,
Not yet.
seeing like how it all works, because this is my first time on the radio roller coaster, they call it, but
Yeah.
like when you get to like the 20s and stuff, it doesn't matter anymore like about how many streams it has or who likes it. It's just research at that point. It's just people listening to 10 seconds of it and saying, yeah, I like that. So you're up to the mercy of people getting paid $100 to listen to songs pretty much.
So
You're like, I hope they like mine.
that's
Yeah.
the craziest part about it is like, there's so much data that goes into everything, and even more now than it used to be. You
So
know?
crazy, dude.
But
Yeah.
even on the radio, it's like, okay, who are they feeding those songs to? Do they like them?
Yeah.
And then there's data on like this section of the show. So it's not even like your song specifically.
Yeah.
It's like this segment, how many people listened,
Yeah.
how many people changed the station.
It's nuts, dude. I got like
So crazy.
a sheet back the other day that's like, or maybe Benji texted it to me, and he's like, this is sweet. And I'm reading it, and it's like 18 to 24 of females or this, and there's like, they got it down to like a freaking science.
It's nuts.
Crazy.
Yeah. Well, don't let that affect your making music. Just keep
Oh,
making
no,
good
I don't
songs.
care. I don't care. I was looking at it, and I was like, dang, they like know all this stuff.
Yeah. It's
Pretty
crazy.
crazy. Nuts.
And you had debut record. too.
Yeah.
Why don't we talk about that a
Yeah.
little bit? Mid-20s crisis.
Yep.
First of all, I love that name.
Yeah, it's hilarious.
Thanks.
Because, yes, it's hilarious. But also, I feel like every so often there's times where you feel like you're having that.
Yeah,
Right?
for sure.
I'm in my midlife now, so I definitely have had my midlife crisis. I think starting Raised Rowdy was it. But
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Probably gave you some gray hair.
I definitely
Yeah.
remember my like mid-20s crisis, which is like I was like, I'm moving to Nashville, you know.
Yeah.
So
1,000%.
yeah,
It's real.
Yeah.
It hit me like this past year, I feel like. So I was just like going through that and got a good title out of it. So.
Dude, great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, you've always been a killer writer.
Thanks,
I mean,
man.
even before you were in town.
Thanks.
I remember like Raised on the Radio that you put out.
Yeah,
I was like, damn, this song's so good. And then I was like, oh, Dylan Marlowe, of course it's good. Yeah.
No,
But-
I forgot about that.
Yeah. Are you getting as much time to write as like you kind of used to with being
No,
on the road?
I used to see people like, who would I talk to? Like, even people like Dylan.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, because I mean, just a year and a half ago, probably, I was writing every day, 4 or 5 days a week. And I was like, he's like, yeah, I just don't have time. And I'm like, I would always have time for writing. And then I like get into the madness of touring, and I'm like, man, I just don't have time, because you play 3 or 4 shows a weekend you got 10 weekends in a row coming up, and if you go sing for 4 hours at a ride on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, your voice is going to be so tired.
Yep.
So it's like you almost can't just whatever of saving your voice.
Yep.
And then you just kind of fall out of it and don't have time and
Energy.
yeah,
And you got a marriage to put
Yeah.
time into also.
for sure.
Gotta
So,
keep her happy.
Yeah.
but it's interesting though, because the songs I have been writing, like I've been writing less like duds, because when I am writing, it's because a really cool idea has come up that's inspired me to go write it. Not just like I'm gonna force myself to sit down at 11 and write a song.
Yeah.
It's like I'm just living life, and then like, oh, this title comes up, and then I sit down and it just pours out, and I'm like, man, this is sweet.
That's great.
Kind of nice. So like I feel like the abundance, like the quality hasn't, or quantity hasn't been there, but the quality's
Still there.
better.
Yeah.
So
I think that's a good part of it too. I remember people talking about, when you get that first publishing deal and
Yeah.
you really have time to do it.
Oh, yeah.
Before you have wife, kids, all
Yeah.
that stuff, they're like, you're writing for the rest of your life.
yeah,
You really.
yeah,
I
2
mean,
a
of course you're
day.
gonna keep writing, but
Oh
you
yeah,
can go back and cut those forever.
I know, dude. It's crazy, man.
I know. I remember back in the day, you sending me some work tapes or demos, and I still have them.
Oh really?
Oh, bro, yeah.
Yeah,
There was
crazy.
one that I used to listen to on repeat. Good Old Boy.
Oh
Just
my
an
gosh.
upbeat smash, and it's
Yeah.
just a simple song, but it's so freaking good.
Gosh, I forgot about that.
Yeah, I
It's
remember.
funny if you have like one bad experience playing a song live, you're like, oh, I don't want to cut it anymore.
You're like,
I had one bad experience because I think like 4 years ago, I came in like the song starts with that intro, like
Yeah.
just the vocal, and I think I came in on the wrong key.
Oh, really?
Like yeah, I think somebody had strummed a chord before they hit their like octave pedal, and so my mind was where they were and not where it went, and I was like, oh, I can't ever play a song again.
Well, you have enough hits that it's fine.
It's
you
all
know?
right. It's all right. That's
But,
funny.
Man, just getting, when I got here in 2020, just you were still around playing rounds and stuff
Yeah.
back then, so I got to see. I could think kind of like the tail end of that, where you were still
Yeah.
like out a lot.
For sure. Yeah, I haven't been out in forever, it feels like.
It's probably for the best.
Yeah, I know. Probably is. Yeah, I know.
But man, it was cool to see that, and just to get to see you go from being a dude that was in Georgia writing songs that were great, and
Yeah.
moving to town, and then now all the success you're having, the big
Thanks, bro.
tours.
It's fun.
You were out with Dan and Shay this year, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was really fun, dude. That was like I've always like loved those dudes, and they're super sweet, and Shay's like, in my opinion, probably top 5 singers in town.
Yeah.
I meant, yeah, easily.
Easily. Top 3.
Dan's
top
in the
2.
show. Dan's like, he's the best singer in country music.
Yeah, he is. I mean,
And I'm like, you can make a point.
yeah.
You know?
It's yeah, he just does it night after night. And it was fun to watch their show every night and learn from them. But me and Shay played golf like almost every day, and so
cool.
that was fun. And getting that, I've always been like, Jake's one of my country music heroes, so I got to like tour with him, which was sick, and
So cool.
chat with him. He's got an interest in like, he always has some like cool like angle of everything he thinks about. It's really cool. So
That's awesome.
it's fun chatting with him.
Yeah. It's cool seeing those boys like the roller coaster of things, because they were from Pittsburgh, so I
Yeah.
got to see them kind of. They were in Nashville before it started popping, but they'd always come back in Pittsburgh and play like like shows
Yeah,
for
yeah.
the radio stations and stuff.
That's right.
So it's cool to see that. And then Kurt took me to
Bridgestone, yeah.
That
Oh,
was
dude, I bet that
last
was
year.
with
sick.
Ben Rector and Haley Wooders.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Dang, I
sick.
bet that
What was
was
that
sick.
last year or
Yeah.
late last year?
Yeah, I think so.
Wow.
Really?
Goes
Or
so
maybe it's
quick.
beginning of this year.
Maybe.
Yeah.
Time
Yeah.
goes so fast.
Heartbreak
now.
on the
It
Map.
does.
tour,
Oh yeah,
the
yep.
first part.
Yeah, it was the first part. Yeah.
Yeah.
Dang.
So that was sick. And
I got to tour with them when I was with Michael Ray, and so it was us, Dan and Shay, and Darius.
Really?
And I remember like Shay would just walk around with a guitar and strum some chords, and sing rap about just everything freestyle.
Dude, yeah.
And he can just, music just flows out of that guy.
It does.
It's wild.
He would just do that on the tour. He would just say the most off the dome, craziest, funniest stuff, and he like.
I feel like a writing session with him is like you just put a title out and just hit record for like 20 minutes, and then you just go through and like collect all the gold, and then you're done.
I know. The worst part about somebody like Shay is he could write the worst song ever and sing it, and you're like, damn, this song's so good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That's like Stapleton has this song that was on the Ratatouille soundtrack about cheese. And I'm like, of course, Chris Stapleton can make a song about cheese.
And it just sounds great.
Yeah, it sounds like magic because it's Stapleton.
Gosh.
Is there anything that those guys, like any of these big tours, and like you've learned from them or stuff that you kind of like caught and how the way they do things?
Yeah, dude. Especially out with like with Hardy. I remember seeing just how he like controls the crowd and how he could just say anything and the crowd goes crazy every time he says it.
Mm-hmm.
Like just seeing how they kind of him and Dan and Shay, they were great about it too. Just had the crowd in the palm of their hands the whole show. Like you even catch yourself not even looking around. You're just so like dialed in. And then it's cool getting to see different tours and like I kind of nerd out sometimes on like the gear and like the lights and the production, like seeing like Hardy had like a bagillion lights like going nuts because it's more of a rock show. And then Dan Shay had these giant like cereal box looking like screens, less lights, but then that was really cool too. So it kind of like makes you wonder like, oh, what can I take into these clubs and like make really interesting. So
one thing I think is so interesting to take from the show is not like what's happening during the songs, but like what happens in between the songs. I think there's something that's more important there in a way. Like Dan and Shay will have these like moments like at Bridgestone where it was like we can't believe we get to do this and we want to thank you guys. This is like a hometown show for us. And it's like when they talk to the crowd in that way. And then like I saw Hardy in Canada and it was just, I don't know what the hell he was doing, but it was just badass. You know what I mean? He just like riffs with the crowd the way like a comedian would. But it's not funny, you know, it's like serious. Sometimes it's funny. And then he'll like intro songs in like really unique, cool ways.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like Hardy's was definitely pretty different every night depending on.
That's cool though.
But yeah, I'm with you. The transitions are like the coolest part to me. Like, because I can hear the song anytime, but how do you get to it?
Yeah.
And that's what we spend most of our time doing in rehearsals is like, how do we change it a little bit? Like maybe we start the song with a chorus like a cappella or maybe we like do different hits here and there. Like that's like the fun stuff to me. And that's what I look for when I watch a live show at least. I'm like, oh, that's super sick how they did that, you know? So.
Yeah, it's crazy how you look at a show differently once you're like in the
I'll
mix.
never go back. I mean, the only time I can go back is if it's not a country show, I think, and it's completely out of my genre. Like I went to a Young Gravy show in Nashville and I just enjoyed it.
Yeah.
So there's no band to watch, so I'm just like, all right, you just got a DJ and he's vibing, and I had a good time. But yeah,
we got to see Gravy at a couple festivals last year.
Yeah,
and dude, see at a country festival, you know, and just getting to see the crossover of country fans with Gravy is wild.
It's funny, dude.
Super cool.
He's a man.
Yeah. Did you get to meet him or anything or no?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's sick. Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
Cool dude. Man, it's interesting seeing that too, because like been getting back into going a little bit more rock shows, and then I went to Big X the Plug last week.
No way.
Oh yeah, dude. It was at Eastside Bowl.
Oh, in Nashville?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it was awesome.
Like the small room, like the
like that bowling alley.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
really.
Yeah, it was sick.
It's probably 1,000 cap, right?
Yeah, maybe 750 or something. Yeah,
That's
I'm not
sick.
sure exactly what it is, but
I bet
it was sold out. It was sick. And it was just so different vibes, you know? Like, I mean, rap shows, you know, a lot of them are like verse chorus of all the hits.
Yep.
And then DJ transitions and like makes a little bit of fun.
How long do you play?
Probably an hour.
That's what I'm like, if you're doing verse chorus of a song, it's like, then you got to do like 50 songs.
Yeah. But there was like, they'd bring out like his boys. So you had like 3 openers, but the openers weren't like, they weren't doing like a 35, 45 minute set. They'd roll out and do like 3 songs, right? Or 4 songs. And then there'd be some DJ stuff in between. But what he would do is he brought all of them out during his set too, right? So that kind of lengthens his set. Like their hit, they probably played in their set but sometimes their second hit they'd play during his set.
Saved it.
Yeah.
Huh.
So, and that's like, he had his boys out with them. Like the Sixers is kind of like his crew. You know what I mean?
Okay.
So I don't know if you ever saw a country show like that. Like Blake Shelton for a few years.
Yep.
Blake would have, there wasn't an opener. He'd pop all the openers up in the middle of the set.
Really?
So it just kind of like made it an experience.
Didn't Trey do that with Kid Rock?
Yeah. Yeah.
I heard about that.
Trey played Dick Down in Dallas in the middle of Kid Rock's set while
Gotcha.
Kid went to the back and like, you know, took a break for 3.5 minutes.
That's awesome. No, I've seen, the only other show I saw that was like that was the Young Gravy show. He did a co-tour with like the dude that's on one of his songs, like Baby Money or something.
Mm-hmm.
And like, it was interesting. Like, that dude started the show, and then Gravy came out and played for 20 minutes, and then the other dude came back out for 20 minutes. Gravy came back out, and then they stayed out for like 20 minutes.
It's cool.
It was interesting.
Yeah. Just different formatting. Yeah. And I hadn't been to a rap show for a long time. Dude, I mean, I've seen rap artists at festivals.
Yeah.
But it'd probably been maybe 4 or 5 years since I've been to like a legit rap show.
That's sick. I've never been to one.
Yeah, it's cool.
I saw LL Cool J at a festival like that we were playing at.
Really?
Yeah, but it was like same thing, like verse, chorus, next song.
Yeah,
it was sick.
I remember seeing Busta Rhymes back in the day.
Whoa!
And it was like verse, chorus of everything, but then like the hits, he would play the whole song.
The whole thing.
Yeah, where like even like Big X, like there were only a few whole songs.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it was mostly just verse, chorus, and then.
And they just have like DJ transitions between each song.
Yeah, and you know how like he has like the. I don't know what you'd call it. Like, you know what I mean? The little things he says. Yeah. The DJ had that button.
Oh, he had a,
yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah. But it was Big X's voice, you know? So he had like 3 of them. It was really funny. So every time he did it, I was just
Was it bumping?
Oh, bro, it was sick. And it was also wild too. Like, you're in East Side Bowl and you watch this dude go over to the table and roll the fattest blunt you've ever seen in your life and light it up like in the middle of the room. And you're like, oh. All right. Well, that doesn't usually happen in country shows.
That's where
I did not have a blunt rolling at the Big X plug on the Dylan pod, you know, but here we are.
Sometimes, yeah.
But there's crossover with that stuff. I mean, I know he said he was at least partially wrote a song with Wallen.
Really?
Yeah. And then Wallen's he's on Wallen's festival next year.
Oh, Big X the plug is?
Yeah.
That's sick.
So it's like, that stuff's crossing over now, I feel like, more than ever.
Yeah, it is, man. Yeah, we did a version of Boys Back Home with Gravy.
Yeah, it was so sick.
It was really sick. It was just, like, fun. Like, I always said I would never do, like, a cross-genre, like, of one of my songs that's already out.
Yeah.
And then my A&R Nathan was like, but if you did it, who would it be with? And I was just on a Gravy kick, so I was like, probably Young Gravy. But I'm not going to do that. And then, like, a week later, Gravy DMs me, and he's like, yo, let's work. And I was like, I text Nathan, I'm like, what'd you do? And he's like, I texted his manager. And so we send him the stems, and he wrote his rap verse and sent it back. And I was like, this kind of gas.
Sick.
So
I love that too. And honestly, dude, like the crossover is so great.
Yeah.
Because, I mean, you're looking at those demos of your songs on radio.
Yeah.
Right? I can guarantee you there's a significant portion that also likes Young Gravy.
1,000%. Yeah.
Easy.
Somebody.
You know?
Somebody does.
Yeah. I'm not saying all the portion, but some of it, you know?
For sure.
And dude, I mean, you like Young Gravy and you're you.
Yeah.
So other dudes that are like you or girls that are like you probably also like Young Gravy.
Yeah, it's sick.
You know?
Yeah.
It's cool. And just having a co-branded song is powerful.
Yeah.
You know? Just like with Dylan and everything. It's like you just really get to like feed each other's fan bases.
Pretty crazy how that happened, but yeah.
And like a Nelly and FGL, you know, it's like it's happened before.
Yeah. And Tim and Nelly. I mean,
Tim and Nelly?
Tim McGraw.
What song was that?
I know I heard a demo one time of Dallas singing That's My Kind of Night by Luke Bryan, and T-Pain's on the demo with him.
Too.
It's pretty fire.
Sick.
But I don't think Luke
never
ever
came out.
It.
Yeah. I wonder how many of those there are in the ether too.
A lot.
Yeah, I bet.
There's a lot of those, and there's a lot of really funny, like inappropriate songs.
Oh yeah.
Everywhere.
Yeah.
Well, the Dick Down in Dallas had a bunch of remakes and remixes and stuff, right?
Yeah. He has the remix. They had like chatted loosely about doing more stuff with it too. But I don't know if it's like ever gonna happen.
Yeah. Dang.
Just super fun.
That's funny.
Man, I remember when Dick Down in Dallas was happening, they were like, we could get Lil Dicky to be on the track, but it was just so much money and they were independent. So it's like, is it worth $275,000?
Is that how rappers do it? Like they're like, yeah, I'll do it if you pay me.
Yeah.
Because in country, it's kind of like, oh, do you like the guy? Does it align with your brand? Do you want to, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
Also, here's something I've been curious about because I'm seeing like a lot of collabs recently. We've talked about it.
Yeah.
But like if you agree to collab on somebody's song or you ask someone, it's like, it's not just getting in the studio and singing it. It's like you also have to get together and like do like a music video and do content. So it's like kind of a big ask, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Time wise.
When we did it with Dylan, like I'm really tied with Dylan, so it was easy to be like, hey, can we do this? But then like Stick to My Guns on the record is with Riley.
Yeah.
And I was just like, man, he's so busy. Like I'm not gonna hit him up and ask him if he wants to come lip sync TikTok videos, like or do content. So like it's definitely an ask because there's a lot. Like if you really if it blows up and it's big, then it's worth like going and doing all that. But yeah, it is a bunch. But I feel like it's becoming more of a thing now to where we've done a few. I literally didn't have any collabs last year, and then this year we did one with like Avery, Dylan, Riley, Bill Murray. That's my favorite one.
How did that happen?
So Bill Murray is like, his name's Johnny, but he is like a fan of country songs, and so he would send me
the comedian.
No.
Oh, okay.
No, so it's this guy named Johnny Frank, and he goes by Bill Murray, and it's like really sick. But all of his songs are like meme titles or really funny titles. But then you listen to the song, and it's like, oh, this is fire. It's so sick. And he was just like, he liked the stuff, and we got together and wrote Empty Handed one day, and I sang the demo, and he was like, can we just leave your demo vocal in the second verse, and you be a feature on? I was like, yeah, 1,000%.
That's so cool.
And now like it's kind of blowing up for him. So
yeah, dude, I saw the power of that when I worked for Big Loud and did the Hicks tape record.
Oh yeah, I forgot you worked for them for a little while.
Yeah, just you put an artist that you might not know as much with an artist that you do know, or you put two artists that you do know really well. Yeah, and you put them on the same song. I mean, if you think about social media, they can throttle stuff. Yeah, right. Definitely. Well, like Spotify's not really doing that. If it gets organic reach, they're sending it. Yeah. You know? Yeah. Like the playlist they curate, but like if it's going, it'll go. Yeah. So I feel like there's more power in streaming collabs than there is even on like social collabs. You know? Yeah, I think so too. It like lives forever.
There's just so many outlets and so many options, and it's so overwhelming sometimes.
Bro, but I know. I feel that too.
Yeah. There's a lot.
It's always something new, or something's always changing.
Every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I'll get a text from my team at Sony once a month. They're like, all right, short videos are the thing that's blowing up right now. Mm-hmm. And then a month later, they're like, okay, like long form videos on TikTok. And then literally today, I get a text and it's like, videos with 2 people in it are blowing up. I'm like, this is ridiculous. This is crazy.
It is crazy, but it's honestly true.
I know. It's just and evidently the TikTok algorithm is like so big now. Mm-hmm. It's like its own thing that like people aren't able to like even the people that work at TikTok aren't able to go in and like change anything. It's just this mind of its own now. Pretty crazy.
Oh
it's
boy.
Nuts.
Yeah.
The robots,
yeah.
Pretty crazy.
We talk about the robots too much, maybe.
Yeah, it's just a constant moving target.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, it is.
Well, I think the key of all of that is, at the end of the day, great songs win. Yep. Right? Good songs, maybe not, but great songs.
Yeah. Win. No, I agree. That's what I'm gonna live by at least.
Yeah. Dude, and that's it. I mean, all those years of being a writer and figuring out how to say things in a way
1,000%
relates to people, that feeds you for the rest of your life too.
For sure. Yeah. It's fun to watch it though and see like how it's always changing, and
absolutely agree.
Like you said, if something hits on there, dude, it's a rocket. Yeah. It's crazy.
So let's chat a little bit about that party song. I think we talked about that last time we had you on the pod, but number 1 song on country radio. Was that your first number 1 party you got to go to with that?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was really cool. There was a lot of speeches.
Yeah.
People have a couple beers and they're like getting on there like talking.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Yeah. This one person talked for like 85 minutes.
Oh man.
I was like, gosh.
That's
yeah,
wild.
Yeah, it was fun. It was really fun.
They're it's still a big thing, and that's what we're friends with a lot of songwriters, so those songs mean the world to those writers, man.
It does, man. It changes your life, really.
Yeah.
Teaches you how to pay taxes.
Yeah.
They don't teach you that
First
in
world
school.
problem there, bud. Yeah.
I know.
Yeah.
It's crazy though. They don't teach you like everything that I need to know. That like is one of the things that you fail once and then you learn from it. Like they need to start teaching that in school. Like, hey, if you make this much money, set this aside for taxes because it's gonna wreck you.
Well, and it's like
I remember the first time I got by that.
oh
Yeah.
You're like, wait, how much?
I was an independent contractor, like teaching guitar lessons, just squeaking by, living in Boston. I got my tax back, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah. It makes you want to throw up.
Yeah.
The first call I got from Last Night Lonely, I was on the way back from turkey hunting. I was with my buddy Abram Dean and Screech.
Yeah.
And I got an email that was like, all right, we're going to go ahead and set this aside for taxes. And my stomach just like dropped. I was like,
Hey, at least you got the email before, you know?
oh, that's fair. Yeah. Yeah. Did you get it after?
Well, I had like hired this guy to help me with my taxes, and he was like, "All right, you owe like $3,000," which was like might as well have been $10,000 or
Yeah.
$50,000 or whatever at the time, because I was an independent contractor and I didn't even think about it because I was 20 years old teaching guitar lessons.
Yeah.
I made $40 an hour, which was like bank in 2006 or whatever.
Yeah.
And then I didn't realize it was like I wouldn't put anything beside.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
it was a lot of extra shifts as a busboy
Just to pay your taxes.
just to catch back up.
Yeah. They don't teach you about all that stuff in
No.
school. They need to.
I think they eventually will, maybe.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like knowing when Christopher Columbus crossed a river isn't as important as knowing how to pay your taxes.
Agreed. Yeah. It's
I had a class like that was like teach you how to do resumes and how to interview
really?
and stuff like that growing up. Yeah,
Dang.
I forget what it was called.
you
But
must have been a rich people high school.
I was a public school.
I'm just messing with you.
Yeah,
No, we had our accounting class, and it was kind of like they strongly encouraged you to take it.
Mm-hmm.
Where it was kind of like part of that was balancing your sheets.
Okay,
I
I see. Yeah.
like your checkbook, right? And it's
you're
like-
old.
Yeah.
Yeah, people are going to listen to this and be like, what's a check?
Yeah, no doubt.
What's a book? Yeah.
1,000%.
No, but we had some of that, and our advisors were like, you should take this because it helps you a little bit with life.
Mm-hmm.
But dude, that's even like we had like wood shop, and we had like
love
sewing class,
Yeah.
and I was like, I would much rather know how to. I
Yeah.
mean, it was fun playing with wood, but I never used that since. You know?
Phrasing, but yeah.
Yeah.
I loved woodshop class, man. It was awesome.
Yeah.
It's like you make like the duck with like the clothespin mouth on it,
Yeah.
and
My mom still has this like deer head napkin holder that
Nice.
I've made.
You built it in woodshop?
Bro, yeah.
Hey, you must
It's-
have built it good then.
No, I did not. Yeah, she just put it on the shelf and never used it. You know,
awesome.
but and I don't know, like a Penn State or some kind of drawstring bag I'd made in sewing class. You know,
That's awesome.
that of course is dead. But man, we gotta petition the government to teach people how to actually like
Yeah,
pay taxes.
I know.
It's tough. Well,
It's
that's
crazy.
the other thing with like business ownership. And I mean, you are a business owner
Yeah.
of your own thing. It's like you don't realize what you can do or how to properly do things that unless you have a business advisor.
Yeah.
You know, someone that's like, well, hey, you took your manager out to dinner. You can use that
Yeah.
as this kind of expense, right?
1,000%. Yeah,
You were
right.
still taking your manager out to dinner before. You just weren't
Oh, yeah.
putting it in correctly.
Yeah. I write so much stuff off now.
Yeah.
you can
'Cause you
take
can.
Kurt and Nick out to dinner and
Yeah.
get drinks and
Hey.
write that off.
Hey,
Maybe
we
if you
go to
get some other
Tractor
number
Supply
one.
after this.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll get some beef jerky and chicken.
Yeah.
there you go.
Well, the
can-
chickens are actually
You can each
chickens.
pick out one thing.
Yeah. I'll get.
That sounds like my mom. Like, can I get a Lego like at Eckerd's or whatever? Like, okay, you can get one toy. I
Yeah.
get like a Batman or something.
Yeah.
That's funny.
That's nuts.
Let's talk about January for you. Sounds like you're going back out on the road.
Yeah. We the end of January we start the mid-20s crisis tour. It's gonna be sick. It's like the biggest rooms we've done yet, so
That's sick.
it's selling really good.
Headlining
So,
tour.
Yeah,
Starting in New York, right?
I think Boston or New York. Yeah, it's gonna be sick.
How big are the rooms?
Like 1,000 cap,
That's
1,200
sick.
cap. Yeah, we're doing the Georgia Theater,
I love
which
that
is like
room.
home ground for me.
Yeah.
So I'm excited. We did a headline tour last year, and they were all like 300, 400 cap, and then things just feel good. So we moved up, and it's been good.
That's great.
Who's coming out with you?
Brian Fuller.
Yeah, I love
I just
Brian.
asked him last week. We haven't even posted about it yet, so
nice.
maybe it'll be posted by the time this is out.
Yeah.
He's one of my buddies, and he's kind of got some momentum going on. So
Yeah. That's cool too to be able to get to bring the homies.
I know, like I always feel like I've looked at people that did, and it's like, man, it's your tour. You can bring, like, you know, sometimes people are like, well, if we do you this favor, will you bring this person? It's like, I don't want to get into that. Like, I just want to bring who I want to bring, and also who I think like my fans will associate with and like, and
who they'll love. Yeah,
for sure.
I think that's a big part of it. And I mean, look at like freaking Wallen and Hardy and Ern. You know, those are all homies.
Just bring your buddies.
Yeah, you know.
Bring your own buddy.
Bring your buddies to work. Tour.
1,000%.
But you know you're gonna get along great with Brian.
Yeah.
You know, you don't have to wonder.
1,000%. Yeah,
That's super cool.
I'm excited for it.
Any rooms other than Georgia Theater that you're super excited about hitting?
Yeah, the Majestic Theater in, where's that? It's in Madison, Wisconsin.
Mm-hmm.
And then we're playing a place in Grand Rapids. I'm pumped because we played the smaller room in Grand Rapids last year, and it was one of the hypest ones. So we're gonna play the bigger one. And
So the intersection?
Yeah.
That's a fun place to
Dude,
play, man.
Yeah, I think we played the one that's like the corner stage last year, and it was insane. So we're bumping up.
I love Grand Rapids. It's so beautiful up there.
It is, dude.
They have good beer.
Yeah. Dude, I think the best beer I ever had was like a month ago, and you ever been to Golden, Colorado? It's like Denver, pretty much.
Yeah, I know where it is, but I haven't been. I've been to Denver.
That's where they make Coors.
Yeah.
And so there's this little thing called Minor Saloon. It's like this saloon. They open this door, and you just look up at the mountains. And then the Coors thing is right down the street where they make it. So they had like a fresh keg that had just been made like the day before. And then you get like a tap Coors Banquet. It's so good.
Dude, fresh beer is wild.
It was so much better.
Much different it is.
I like got on a kick, and then I started buying it here at home. Like, it's still good, but it's not that good. Like,
Yeah.
That's what I do with Guinness after touring Europe.
Yeah?
Yeah, I just started drinking Guinness all the time. You know what's funny is I was talking about this with someone recently. Is like all the best beers of my life weren't like the fancy, most delicious beer, but it's always like I used to work delivery. Like when I graduated college, I would ride my bicycle delivering sushi, and the job sucked. And I would always go, and my buddy was like a bartender at California Pizza Kitchen upstairs, and so I would like go and get a beer there, and it was just like always the best.
Yeah.
You know, it's like summer, and you're like sweating from riding your bike, and you didn't make any money, and then you get that cold beer, which was sometimes free, and it was just the best.
It's the best beer, dude.
So I can imagine, like, you know, being in Colorado, staring at the Rockies, drinking a fresh brewed Coors Banquet would just be delicious.
Nice. Crispy.
Yes.
Yeah, I lived in Pittsburgh for a long time, and there was this bar that had Iron City Light, which is like the light beer of Pittsburgh, basically. Of course, there's always, you know, Miller Lite, all the beers, you know, Bud Light, but they would get the freshest beer, and that was like the beer that they sold the most. There was that beer, and then Dutch Brothers, I think it was, which is another beer that Iron City made too. And they just tasted different there than they did anywhere else.
Yeah.
Because it was like down the hill from the brewery.
Right there.
You know? Yeah. So
Crazy, man.
And they rolled through so much that it was always fresh.
Yeah.
You know?
It is crazy when you drink one like that, and then you drink one out of the gas station, and you're like, it's still good, but it's just
I was going to say, don't hate on gas station beer.
it's still, I mean, yeah, 1,000%.
Yeah. It's I remember like having craft beers, and like when that kind of hit its peak, and you'd get these hoppy beers that you'd get at the place like right after they made it, and they're just like, man, this is so good. And then like a week later, it's like not the same. You know,
I've never been like a hop dude or a IPA. I tried one in Lake Tahoe that was really good. It was like a honey wheat beer that was good, but I always just go the same. I'm like, what's the closest you got to like Miller Lite?
Yeah, sure.
I need to expand my horizon.
Me and Kurt went and did stouts for a minute.
I do love stouts.
Yeah, like those are the dark, deep beers.
Oh yeah.
And I do enjoy those, but it's like you're not drinking 6 of those.
Yeah,
you know, you're having like a half of one or.
I have drank 6 of those before.
Yeah,
very hungover the next day.
That's the other thing too. My goal in life right now is to not be hungover anymore because it's just so awful.
It's terrible.
Yeah. So like when you have one of those beers, I'm a mess.
Really?
You know, Just because I haven't
so
really been
dark,
drinking
or is
much.
it-
Yeah.
Well,
It's just
sometimes they're like New Heights Brewery has this beer that is so good. It's called the Navel Gazer, but it's like 11% or something.
Holy cow!
Yeah, I remember I had a 4-pack
You only
during
get one of them?
COVID, and we'd all get on Zoom and catch up with like all the buddies I tour with and different friends, and so we'd all get on there and drink and just hang out like we would when we weren't all at our houses, whatever. I remember like ending the Zoom call, and I drank 4 of those, and I was like, I'm hammered. I'm just like in my house.
Gosh.
And the next day I was like,
that's the other thing too. Is like the wheat beers and the unfiltered beers. Like if you can't see through it, your body is processing all of that stuff that you can't see through. You know, so
Yeah, that's
just
fair.
filters it a different way than those lighter
Yeah.
beverages.
Gotcha.
But
Gotta
yeah,
learn about the beer.
hey, no, you're good.
Yeah.
Just drink what you like, buddy.
yeah. Yeah, as I get older, that's more important.
Yeah. I remember my program director, because we, had that radio show in Pittsburgh, and he was like, Nick, I love that you don't make fun of me for the things that I drink. Because he would
Yeah.
drink like White Claws and like rum. I'm like, bro, I don't care what you drink.
Yeah.
Like, it has no effect on me. I'm not going to give you crap.
Yeah. 1000%.
I'm like, just because I'm a white trash redneck doesn't mean I'm like going to give you crap
Yeah.
for drinking a seltzer. Like,
Yeah, hey,
I'm like,
send
give
it.
me one of those seltzers,
Send
dude.
it.
You know?
Our old keys
1000%.
player would drink vodka, Sprite, grenadine. It was like a Shirley Temple
Yeah,
with
that's
like
sweet.
like literally sweet. And we kind of made a joke about it one time, and he's like, I don't give a fuck what you guys say. And then from then on, we're like, okay, that's actually kind of badass.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah. There you go.
I drink these. They're great. They're free too, which is the best.
And they also taste very good.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yeah, they're iced tea vodkas, no bubbles. They're good.
Huh.
I'll give you a 4-pack. You can take them home.
Yeah, I'll try them. I
Yeah.
feel like it'd be hard to drink tea. This is not just sweet tea.
Yeah. This one doesn't taste like sweet tea, but it definitely artificial sweetener.
It's in that I shouldn't say sweet spot, but it is where it's like not too sweet.
Yeah.
But it's not unsweetened.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah.
The problem with these are if you drink these on a hot summer day, you're gonna drink like 10 of them.
Yeah, because they. Okay,
There's
I
no
see.
carbonation,
Yeah.
so you
Oh,
just,
really?
Boop, you can just delete them.
Yeah.
Delete 'em.
Yeah.
Just control alt delete 'em.
Yeah. I feel like that's gonna
so
be
they're
a
dangerous.
drinking song there.
That's great.
Yeah, Control Alt Delete this beer. You can have that one for free. We
Yeah.
won't even take a third.
That's amazing.
Dylan will write it, but he won't put his name on it.
He's not gonna write that. That's not good enough.
That would be the one that you write, and then you're like, yeah, we're not even turning this in.
Yeah.
1000%. You get one of those every now and then. You're
Yeah,
like,
with
I'm
the
not even
boys having too
turning
good of a
this in.
time, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you write out on the road at all? Or
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah, a little bit.
yeah.
Yeah.
By yourself, or sometimes with who you're out with? Or?
Yeah, Mid-20s Crisis was a road write by myself. And
Nice.
then my guitar player and utility guy, he's
Mm-hmm.
like, they're always like creating cool stuff. So I'm just like,
Sick.
if they play something cool, I kind of selfishly walk in the back line. I'm like, what are y'all doing? Like, it's just a vibe we started.
Oh.
I'm like, can I hop in on that?
I will speak from experience. It's like they're doing that, so you walk in the back.
1000%. I mean, it works. It gets me. I'm like, listen. I'm like, what is that?
I remember we were on tour in Australia last year, and Jamie, our guitar player, is a really good songwriter. Jamie Davis, you probably know him.
Yeah,
He's
yeah.
a hunter too. But we're on tour with Kojo, and he had written a song. It was like cowboy something, some cowboy song, and so he was like jamming it, working it up or whatever, and then he like green room was next door to Kojo, so he like swung the door open and was like cowboy menace, singing it, and then he said he was fishing, you know, and then he said Kojo popped his head in and was like, what are y'all singing? And he's like, well, actually, here's a song we just started if you want to hop in on it or whatever. And he was like, oh man, it sounds really good. But then he was like, I got enough cowboy songs, and he was like, it bit, but then
Just
got
like
off the
spit the
line.
hook out.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Had it in his mouth.
Do you
can't blame a guy for trying though.
No, I mean, hey.
Hey, that's it. I remember telling my buddy, I was like, if you want a pub deal and you're on the road with someone, the best thing you could do is write a verse chorus of 100 songs.
Yeah.
1000%.
You know?
1000%.
It's like someone's gonna want to get in on that with you.
yeah, for sure.
Let's talk a little bit about your writing process. Are you often? So I know you're talking about some solo writes, but
Yeah.
mostly co-writing or
Yeah,
kind of mix.
mostly. Like right now, I have like 4 or 5 different verse courses that I've just kind of written by myself that I save when I go write with Joe,
Nice.
and then I let Joe make like a really cool track for it. And
yeah,
he kind of like knows me just as good as I know me. So like I like hearing his opinion on where I should go with stuff. And
Yeah.
But I feel like you kind of got to protect it a little bit because you can totally take the wrong idea into the wrong room.
Yeah, that makes sense.
With like the wrong people, and it'll just ruin it.
Yeah.
So I try to like protect them a little bit. Sounds kind of weird, but
Well, I've known some songwriters that have an idea for a song, like if they're the artist, and they're like, "This is the title. This is how I want to write it."
yeah,
But go into a room. This is the hook. This is how I want it to be delivered. If they're like, someone's like, "What about if we do it like this?" They're like, "I'm like, hey, I want to write it this way, and if it's not this way, then we can write something else."
yeah,
Yeah.
1000%. That happened. That's like one of my pet peeves. But it's like you don't want to be disrespectful and be like, "Oh, my way's right," because I might be wrong. But then like usually if I bring it in, it's kind of, I'm like vulnerable. I'm like, this is what I want to do, and they're like, "Oh, but you could change it to like put a girl in it." I'm like, God dang it. It's always they're like, well, I mean, it just won't go to radio if it doesn't have a girl in it. Like, yeah, no, 1000%. That's one of my pet peeves. I'm like, man, if I bring it in, let's just write it that way.
Yeah. That makes sense.
But I'm not opposed to like changing it if it's better.
I feel like if I'm in a writer's room with an artist such as yourself, especially one that's such a good writer, if you came in and were like, "Let's write this," I would just be like, "Yes."
Dude, that's how I am like with other artists.
Yeah.
I'm like, all right, let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
hop in.
You're
Because
like, that
usually
sounds great.
I know like if I'm excited and then somebody just shoots it down, I'm like, I'm out.
Right. Read the room there, guy.
Yeah. I
That's
feel like
a-
most people are smart enough, but there's a few.
Yeah.
There's a few.
Yeah, you never know.
Well, it's like
Yeah.
if a writer like has like had some shit work and or like has success, it's like they have some confidence in it, then maybe they can bring it to a place it needs to be.
1000%.
But if it's like it's just because it's not going to go to radio, you know what I mean?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Yeah. 1000%.
It's a
Womp
tough
womp.
thing, man. There's a mix between art and knowing what the demo is too.
Yeah, and it's so tough because like I know like songwriters aren't getting paid that much unless it goes to radio. So I totally understand like going in, people are taking time out of their day, they want to write, and they're aiming for a radio hit because they're writing with people on purpose because they're on radio. So I get it. But then from the artist side, sometimes it's like, man, if I really need this to put this song out, like write this song today, like I need to go there. You know, it's kind of a weird thing, but I totally understand the wanting the radio thing.
Yeah.
But,
I think that's a different thing too, based on like if there is an artist in the room.
yeah.
Or especially if you're bringing a song and you're the artist.
Yeah.
If they're coming in with a hook
1000%.
and you're the artist, you're like, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, for
But
sure.
if you're coming in, you have this crafted idea in your head. Even if it comes out great, if it's not how you want it, you're not going to cut it.
Yeah, for
you
sure.
know?
1000%.
So
There's like very little things. I feel like us artists are like very like gun shy. If like one little thing throws it off, you're like, oh, I'm out.
yeah,
Do you think that with the way that radio's going and that how much money songwriters make from streams, that there's just going to be less songwriters in general?
less signed songwriters.
Maybe.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I mean, everyone's always going to write songs,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah.
But like less like people that are just songwriters. Like I'm just a writer. Is that even
Yeah.
going to be a viable profession?
I don't know.
I think it will be a viable profession.
I hope
but
so.
There's got to be a way. I feel like there's just got to be like a better way to pay songwriters if it does. If I don't know. That's a good question. I don't
Well,
know.
I've reached out to some folks that I know over at Spotify to be on the podcast, and it was like,
They don't want to step into that.
yeah.
Well, there's
I wasn't going to like bust their balls about it.
no,
Yeah.
but there's not a lot of benefit to them being on our podcast.
Zero.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just us asking them stupid questions
Like,
that they answer.
so
1,000
why
times.
aren't you paying songwriters?
Yeah.
Well, I just want to learn more, you know?
Yeah.
No, that's fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's a lot. I'm sure there's a whole lot. I mean, you think about it. I don't know. It's a business.
Yeah.
You're giving them $15 a month and they're sending it to all of us. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe they just, I don't know.
Have you ever written songs for like Sync or anything like that?
No, I haven't.
So that's another thing that I think you'll see more of in the future.
Yeah, they pay good. My song was on Fox News the other day, which is sick.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, it was on like, I guess not the news one, but the Fox News like sports one when they were like after they're like reviewing some games.
Which song?
Boys Back Home.
Oh, that's great.
And all my people back home were like, "You're on Fox News."
Did they show you? Or
No, it was just the song.
Yeah.
But I was like, I'm sure I made something off of that.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
On there, but yeah, I remember Abram made like really good money off of a sync deal he did with like Royal Caribbean, and then they gave him a free they gave him and like the two people he wrote the sync song with like a free cruise week to like write more sync stuff for them. Like, that's
cool.
kind of cool.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
It's just like a quick little payday.
Mm-hmm.
I've done some sessions recently where like I'd go to do an overdub at like a studio. It was in East Nashville, and I'm like, so like, are you a songwriter? He's like, yeah. And I'm like, so like, who are you working with? He's like, I just do sing stuff, dude. And he just like writes like vibes, I guess. I kind of hate to use that word, but like, you know, like little things, and it's like it just puts it on some website, and then he gets it placed in TV. You know, it's like some pharmaceutical commercial or something.
Really?
Yeah. And my buddy Julian, who is like the best musician I know, he just like he does that, but it's like he like is a sync writer for like classical music. So he writes like fugues and stuff, and it goes like on commercials, and he makes great money doing it.
Really?
I think that is where some of songwriting is going to go.
Yeah.
Right? Like
maybe so.
You're going to write your songs where you want to write, but then you're also like have a retreat where you guys are going to write songs for a movie or a television show.
I'm sure I know some people that do it for like Yellowstone, try to like aim for that.
Twister was so successful.
Yeah.
I feel like that, dude. I'm like, again, like when I was a Big Loud, like there was a person whose job fully was getting syncs for.
Really?
Yeah, I'm sure that's the same thing at Sony.
Yeah, I'm sure.
You know, it's like,
it's
just another stream of revenue. You know, and that's a good way to balance the balance sheet for a writer or an artist writer. You know, whatever. And I mean, again, like if it's your song that you're on the master of, then you're getting paid on that side of it too.
Yeah, a lot of money.
So I think that we'll always see professional songwriters. In my head, the number may decrease just because the dollars aren't there. If the publisher's not making more money than they're paying you, they're not going to be keeping you around.
Yeah.
Right? But that number is just harder to get to than it used to be when you sold physical albums.
It is, dude. Yeah. It's like a pretty crazy environment out there right now, it feels like.
For sure.
But
and it's evolving. I mean, what's the world gonna do when radio is not radio anymore in 20 years or whatever?
Yeah,
you know what I mean. However long it is. You know.
Yeah. I don't know.
Well, at least you're selling tickets.
Yeah,
which is sick.
Yeah, I mean that's been our goal is to establish like the fan base because you could have as many viral things as you want, but if you don't have something to fall back on, like I don't know. But that's what I don't judge. Like I say judge. Like I don't keep my like tally on how many streams I have or how many hits I have. I do it like, okay, when we go to this city, how many tickets can we sell?
Yeah.
Because that's the only thing that matters to me. Because you can look around and see somebody could have 20 million monthly listeners or 100,000, and the one of the 100,000 could be selling tickets. It's like, So I try to look less at those numbers and more at just like, okay, we're pulling crowds here and here and here, and that's what matters, you know?
Yeah. I remember last time we had you in, we were talking about upbeat songs for the live set.
Yeah.
What is a live set like now? Like a full show?
Dude, I don't know. It's about to be even crazier with this record.
Yeah.
Some of the songs, like 5 or 6 of the record songs, are like just purely for the show. So it's gonna. We did a record release show the other night. We just went top to bottom, and it was the hypest thing ever. Just with the new songs, like how hyped they are, and so the headline tour is gonna be probably pretty nuts.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And you guys are rebuilding the set for that.
Yeah, whole thing. Yeah.
Because how long you guys played with Dan and Shay and all on those tours?
Dude, like 25 minutes.
Yeah.
So
now
we're
you're
about
playing
to be 75 to 90.
Yeah.
I love playing longer. Like if my voice feels good, like I want to go. So I'm probably gonna have a couple audibles in there and stuff. And
That's cool.
That's what we call them too, audibles.
Yeah. But yeah, it's gonna be sick. So many upbeat, like some of the pop punky country stuff that's on there. This has been really fun to play live. We played it once or twice the other weekend, and it was just like it sucked because we only played it twice, and we're like, man, that was so much fun. So I'm ready to get to play those every night.
Dude, enjoy the clubs, man.
Yeah.
I kind of miss them sometimes.
Yeah, I hear that all the time. People are like, man, just soak it in.
Take your time.
I am, dude. I'm gonna have fun.
Well, and it's like going from smaller clubs to these big clubs now too.
Like having stage space and the crowd now. Like before it was like, okay, we got a sick crowd that's here for just us, but no room. Now we have a sick crowd and room to run.
Yeah. So cool.
Yeah, I mean the clubs is fun, but it's it's nice having a bus and all that other stuff.
Oh yeah. It's been a game changer for sure.
How long have you been in the bus?
Since that Hardy tour, halfway through that, I guess. But my voice has just like tremendously benefited from the bus. Because, we traveled on that short bus, and I think we pulled a meter out, and it was 87 decibels all the time.
That's wild.
So we're talking over that every day. My voice would be tired before we even got to the first show. And,
do you still have that?
Yeah. It's in Georgia. Yeah. We'll keep it as long as we can.
That's sick.
Be cool to have one day.
The Country Music Hall of Fame.
Yeah, just a
Dylan's
short bus. Hey, that'd be pretty high, dude. Just drive it up there and put it in the museum.
Yeah. That'd be sick.
Yeah.
Leave it outside. Let them tour it out there.
Hell yeah.
That would be a sick. What's that? What do you call it? Engagement or
activation? Yeah.
Yeah.
My suit terms.
Yeah. When you're playing a show, when you're playing Bridgestone, come get your photo out of or something. I don't know.
Pop that sick.
Yeah.
Pop that sucker out there.
Yeah.
Heck yeah.
Yep.
Have a semi just for the short bus.
Yeah. Yeah. You can put up your first #1 plaques and stuff in there.
Yeah, that would be cool.
Or you can do a podcast in it.
Yeah, you could.
Just a really loud podcast for
80s.
Call it short bussing with the boys.
Yeah. And girls.
Yeah. There you go.
Have the girls on too.
Well, I'm super stoked for your tour, man. Congrats
Thanks,
on that.
Yeah,
man.
You'll have to make it out to one if y'all aren't
doing
down.
something.
Well, we've been known to road trip at the Georgia Theater.
Yeah.
Come on, dude.
Yeah.
It's. I think it's sold out. It's gonna be sick.
Well, we know a guy, so.
Let's go. Yeah. I got you. Yeah.
But
it's on a Valentine's Day too, so y'all.
That's great.
Yeah.
It's cool to watch everything grow, man.
Thanks, bro.
Yeah. So proud of you and all the shit
man.
that you've been grinding on for so many years.
Yeah, it's been fun. I feel like we're doing it the long way, but it's paying off. So
It is.
Good, man.
yeah,
Building real fans, man.
Yeah.
There's no shortcut to that.
For sure.
Ones that'll
No.
stay with you forever.
no shortcut. Yeah,
There isn't.
yeah. Heck yeah.
Well, thanks for being
Yeah,
here, brother.
thanks for
and
having me,
taking
bro.
the time to do this with us.
Of course.
Yeah.
About to go to Tractor Supply and get
There
some
you
more.
go.
Come on.
Maybe we'll see you again next year.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Just do our
Every
annual
other year.
annual Raised Rowdy podcast.
Hey, we're in, man.
Heck yeah.
As often as you have time, we appreciate you taking the time to be out here
Let's
with us.
go. Heck yeah.
Well, I'm Nicky T.
Kurt Ozan, and we'll see you in the front row. Thanks, dude.